class of 2019. Graduating class, congratulations. You made it, and today is your day. I'm proud of parents, grandparents, friends and family, faculty and staff, board and PTSA members, and special guests. Thank you for being here today to share this special moment with our community. My name is Mark Redlick. I'm the high school principal, and today I will be your MC. I'm very excited to be celebrating this special day with everyone today. As a reminder, if you haven't already, can I ask that you check that your phones are on silent mode? And of course, please feel free to take photos and video during the ceremony. Just be aware of the people who are around you. We know there are a number of guests in the audience who have traveled a long way to be here this afternoon, and we're happy you're able to join us for this occasion. Behind the stage, you'll see flags that represent the nationalities of the various graduating students in our class this year. So this is truly an international event. For those of you who are watching on our live YouTube stream, we would like you to have been here today, but it's unfortunate that you're unable to come. Seniors, you'll be happy to know I have it on good authority that Mr. Snowball is watching. We have many incredibly talented musicians at YS, and I'd like to mention the Koto players, who were entertaining us as we came in, and our high school string ensemble, who accompanied the processional. Thank you for the music. Class of 2019, this ceremony symbolizes your hard work coming to completion, the challenges that you may have overcome, and all the wonderful memories of your time at YS that you will take with you. Much like on your final day of classes, when members of the school community came together to celebrate your final day with a parade, we're here today to celebrate and wish you well. You should be proud of yourselves. This is a time to reflect on your achievements, not only academics, but more importantly on how you've grown as people during your time and the values that make you who you are today. I was recently reminded by a colleague that I've been at YS for quite a long time now. In fact, when I started my time at YS, you were in grade 3. Many things happened around the world in that academic year. Pardon me as I just go through a little bit of a list here. But in pop culture, the TV series The Walking Dead premiered. In world politics, it was the beginning of what would become known as the Arab Spring in Tunisia. In space, it was the year of the final launch of the Space Shuttle Discovery. In Japan, it was the year of the Great Tohoku earthquake. And at YS, we have recently launched the MYP. Indeed, people around the world are still feeling the impact of some of these things today, and I hazard to say that some of you are still watching the most recent episode of The Walking Dead. I mention these events not to make me feel older, or not to remind myself that I should probably be wearing eyeglasses right now as I read this speech. But to remind all of us that while 9 years at YS may sound like a long time, your time as students in elementary and secondary school are in fact a very short time, and there will be many great moments ahead of you. It is my sincere hope that however long you've been a student of YS, that the school has helped shape you into the people you are today, and you go into the world beyond YS prepared for the challenges and opportunities ahead. I welcomed many of you into high school when you started grade 9, or in grade 11 when you started the IB diploma. The journey, I know, has not always been an easy one, but it makes me incredibly proud today to see you here preparing to leave this place that has been such a large part of your lives for so many years. And I'm so confident that you are ready for the next step. Being ready will mean different things for all of you. I know that each of you is academically ready, whatever academics are there for you in the future. And I know that you all have had lots of practice writing exams. For me, though, being ready is way more about academics. It's far more important than academics, is that I think you're ready now to spread your wings and enter the world beyond YS, confident in who you are as a person and what you believe in, and that you will follow the moral compass that YS has helped you develop. Being ready means that you will have compassion for people in the world who are less fortunate than yourselves. And finally, being ready means that you are hungry for the challenges and opportunities ahead. beginning class of 2019. I couldn't be more proud of you. As I mentioned earlier, we have many talented students at YS, and it's time to highlight some of this talent with some more music. I'd like to invite the senior music class up to perform Changes by Ozzy Osbourne. Please give them a warm welcome.
joining us for the celebration and recognition of our accomplishments.
High school has thrown many challenges at us, with the IBDP perhaps contributing a few as well. But who would have thought that we would be haunted by a notorious disease 2 weeks prior to our exams? Before we go too much further, could you raise your hand if you've been vaccinated for chickenpox? We like to begin with a little walk down memory lane to the not too distant past, the 23rd of April, 2019. Footsteps clatter into the cafeteria as we were met with solemn silence. The air smelled stagnant with unspoken words, disappointment, but also a tinge of nervous excitement. Mr. Redlick mounted the stage with hefty strides and sliced through the chatter with, "Unfortunately, I have to announce that the senior sleepover has been cancelled due to another instance of chickenpox." That was the beginning of the unspoken 1-meter radius rule, hunting down vaccination records and doubting whether that bump on the nose was a pimple or a telltale sign of chickenpox. The one thought that kept us going was, soon enough, this will all be a funny story to look back on.
And so here we are today in red, as a class, as friends, to finally wave goodbye to not only the infamous childhood disease, but also to our very own childhoods. We invite you to join us on our final journey to step over this threshold from adolescence to adulthood, and we hope you can greet us on the other side. Gift giving has been a tradition here at YS, as we express gratitude and appreciation. The charm of gift giving is bound to be its ability to bring joy, not only to the receiving end, but also to the giver themselves. We are sure that many gifts will be given today, whether that be to your child, your senpai, your students, or the school. So to align with this tradition, we have decided to share this speech as our parting gift to you, the class of 2019.
The first message that we would like to share, and something that we have learned during our time here, is to stay open to challenges. Stay open-minded to challenges you will face in life. Challenges will come to you in different forms that you may not necessarily anticipate. And stay open-minded will help you work your way through them. 2 weeks out from the exam period, out of all the things that could be stressing us out, whether it be memorizing bio terms, practicing kanji, or just realizing that you actually have a math option topic to learn from scratch, it was chickenpox. Who would have thought that the factor to stress dozens of us right before exams would be chickenpox? That was not on my IBDP course guideline when I was signing up for my courses. Nor did I write that in my challenges to come section when I was planning my upcoming months at the beginning of the year. But it did come to us, and it stressed us out. Potentially, all of us could have missed weeks of preparation, or even worse, the exams themselves. Years and years of preparation could have gone to waste if we got infected, and we're all very concerned. It was an unexpected challenge. Although we did awkwardly ask each other about each other's vaccination record and kept the 1-meter rule for the next 30 minutes, we did not flinch. After our sleepover was canceled and we lost the opportunity to conveniently wake up in the gym the next day and set up for a prank early on the next day, we adjusted our plans accordingly and we showed up hours early to the school the day after to set up and pull off the best prank ever, right? You see, it was quite natural to us because we were open-minded, but looking back at it, this was not a usual and definitely not an anticipated situation. But we beautifully worked our way around it, adjusting plans accordingly, and we effectively achieved the success that we wanted. The chickenpox outbreak of April 23rd, 2019 is only one small example. In life, challenges will hit you from many directions that you don't necessarily anticipate. You will be watching out for yourself in one direction, and challenges and hardships will hit you from others. And in those times, don't panic. Just stay calm and work through the task step by step, like we did through chickenpox. Like at Duke of Edinburgh, when you guys were lost in the mountains, facing a sign saying no entry, but literally worked your way around it to reach the base camp. Like at prom, when the speaker broke down, creating a dark silence, but as a grade level, we just got onto the piano next to it with a mic and made live music for the rest of the night. Or like every day, when we came into school, ready to encounter any challenges and get through. We have the skill sets to go through whatever challenges will come to us, because although we may not recognize it every day, we are a group of very open-minded and flexible thinkers. So keep that with you. Stay open-minded and embrace the challenges to overcome them.
Another value that YS promotes, and what we would like to offer as our second piece of advice, is for you to be kind in the world beyond YS. If there is one thing that I have learned from my 2 years of IB psychology, it is that humans are inevitably social creatures. With this comes the consequence of interacting with people just about every day. Being kind will make your daily interactions with others much more easier and enjoyable. And perhaps a few dozen of you are rolling your eyes at this cliche line, but some words are worth repeating. The value of kindness will never degrade, no matter how old we grow. As you leave the safety of the school, you will find there is an abundance of unkindness, and the world outside of YS needs more kindness from people like you. Yet it takes more than a kind reminder to become a kind person. Being selfish is always the easy way out. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who can guiltily say that I have been selfish on more occasions than my own fingers can count. As a sister, I cannot remember the number of times I kicked a sibling out of my room when they really just wanted to say that they would miss me. As a daughter, I cannot remember the number of missed opportunities to simply say thank you and I love you. And as a friend, I cannot remember the number of texts I could have sent to let them know that I'm here for them. There are so many could-haves and should-haves in life, and I cannot be the one to tell you that there won't be any more. But today, I am here to say, don't let your bashfulness, or that adult facade that we all try to play off, be the reason you stop being compassionate. For some of you, finding the time and capacity to be kind will be easy. Yet, it is also important to be kind to yourself. We are our harshest critics, and we may even be accustomed to finding flaws within our successes. While remorse and regret restrain us from repeating our mistakes, never feel guilty to be proud. All of you here today have parcels of accomplishments held between your palms, and you should take a moment to feel dignified of your achievements. Kindness is a give-and-take process, and being kind to yourself will stretch your capacity to be kinder to others.
Like most things, our high school career has come to an end, and so has our gift to you. But we hope that our message will be something to look back upon as we advance through the rest of our lives outside these walls. Once we return home, today will fade into a memory, but we hope you hold on to our thoughts today and take them with you as a part of memory of your time at YS.
Firstly, stay open to challenges. Face obstacles as things for you to overcome, to become a stronger version of yourself. Secondly, be kind. While selfishness may be tempting, kindness takes you that extra mile and will bring you much happiness. Open-mindedness and kindness come hand in hand, but are fueled by one more catalyst, which is optimism.
As we go on to live life beyond YS, we want you to preserve your positivity. While it is easy to spiral into an endless cycle of negativity during hard times, YS has taught us to embrace happiness and to find gratitude in the daily life. We are always cautioned of the possible bad in the world. We want you to know that there is more good left and more possibilities for good to happen than we actually acknowledge.
There's only one person who can determine the outcome of your success, and that is you. If our time at YS has taught us anything, it has taught us that we are capable of exceptional things.
We are still young, and we are destined to weep, laugh, and discover.
Life is your playground, and now it is time for you to explore. Thank you. So thank you, and now we'd like to introduce the YS Jazz Combo, I believe performing Strasbourg Saint-Denis.
jazz combo for that performance, and to Jinho and Manho for their senior speech. Jinho, where are you? I don't really sound like that, do I? You have me a little concerned. If I sound like that, I need to stop this career right now. I'd like to now welcome Eileen Chen and John Rufu onto stage, who will present the senior gift to Mr. Foods.
Good afternoon, class of 2019. Parents, teachers and faculties, esteemed guests, friends, and extended families. My name is Jimru,
And my name is Eileen.
and it is a great honor for both of us to stand here on behalf of the class of 2019 to present the graduating class gift. Every year, we see people come and go and encounter both new and familiar faces. Regardless of this, we are both thankful to be able to graduate with this group in particular today. On behalf of both of us, we would like to say thank you to each and every one of you for not only making the class of 2019 a special grade to be in, but YS a special place to be.
We are diverse in many ways, such as in our cultural backgrounds and the ways that we contributed to the school. Whether it be through the arts, athletics, service, or academic achievement, every one of you made these past few years memorable and enriched the school with your brilliance. You're hardworking and passionate about what you do and continue to surpass the standards for excellence. More importantly, acknowledge and learn from each other's differences by creating an environment where we can all be open about our vulnerabilities, allowing us to grow as a person and as a collective community. We still remember the PYP exhibition and our first draft for the personal project. Yes, do we love our Emily citation?
And you thought that was hard. Anyways, our expedition were other memorable moments. From Izu, Phuket, Hiroshima, Niigata, Nakasendo, Hong Kong, and our great gathering to prepare for the haunted house in grade 11. Hopefully that didn't scare the entire school too much.
What about our memorable win during Spirit Week? Even though I don't know how we even won that.
Eileen, I'm telling you, we did not break that thing.
Well, of course, we cannot forget about our first SATs and UCAS applications and our first and last DP exams.
And now we're all gathered here today, closing one chapter and ready to embark on a new one.
We hope that you will keep in mind the continuous cycle of learning that helped us grow and reflect on the people to whom we are thankful for the progress we made in high school. Our teachers who have filled our minds with academic insights, counselors who have lightened up our mood during early morning tutors with their positive energy, and of course, the warmth and support of our friends and family, all of whom have nurtured and helped us grow.
In times of adversity, we have coped through supporting, encouraging, and being there for. And we both feel a sense of belonging to our tight-knit community. In the near future, there will be new challenges that lie ahead of us, such as moving away from our parents for the first time, integrating to a new social and cultural environment, and of course, finding new friends. And there will be days that we may anticipate another storm that may hinder our progress, and things may not work out the way we want them to be. But keep in mind that no matter what, there will always be space for all of us to bloom when the time arrives.
Now we would like to gift the school with a sakura tree for the entrance of the new campus to represent each and all of our growth through our experience at YS. The tree symbolizes patience, strength, and perseverance, all of which we think best defines this amazing group of people. We appreciate all of the different relationships that we built during our years at YS, and the people who have inspired us to look at things in new light, pushed us to go outside of our comfort zone, and help us gain a love for learning.
We hope that when the sakura blooms on one fine spring day, the sakura tree will not only represent our growth, but growth of future YS students to come. As we enter our first university lectures in a few weeks' time, to our first job interviews in a few years' time, and to more exciting things that life will give us down the road, the sakura tree will grow together with us. We hope that one day when you visit YS again and look back and look at the sakura tree, you'll look back in remembrance of how much you have grown in the years to come since this very moment. From today, each and every one of you will branch out into different paths, but we hope that you will reach high towards the sky, just like the sakura tree, as a bright future awaits you.
On a final note, we would like to hand a picture frame of the sakura tree for Mr. Cruz to place on his desk, and the funds that we raise as a grade. So we would like to welcome Mr. Cruz on the stage.
Thank you.
Special thanks to Class 2019 for the sakura tree. I promise we'll look after it. It will take pride of place at our new campus, and every time we see it, it will remind us of you. Thank you very much. It is a pleasure to stand here today and to be able to speak to you and celebrate Class 2019. It's also great to see so many people here to share this day with us, so thank you very much for joining us. I'd actually like to start by recalling a recent event, if I may. 3 months ago, on a Friday afternoon in Christchurch, New Zealand, a 28-year-old white supremacist walked into 2 mosques and killed 50 people who were about to conduct their Friday prayers. Carrying multiple semi-automatic weapons, he indiscriminately shot whoever was in front of him because they were practicing their Muslim faith. For no other reason beyond his own pent-up hatred against other humans that were different to him, he chose this course of action. I happened to be in the country at the time, and like 4.5 million other Kiwis, I watched television images and listened to the radio news in disbelief that this was something that could happen in our country, one that we thought was tucked far enough away to be missed by such violence. Even after listening to countless reports and witness accounts and seeing pictures of bodies being carried away in ambulances and family members of victims creased up in grief, it still seems surreal and untrue, a scene from a movie that had accidentally made its way onto our local television news. Of course, it was true, and the truth got heavier and heavier as the facts unfolded. The whole country went into mourning. It was felt by everyone, no matter what their background, ancestry, and no matter what their faith. People felt the sharpness of the pain across the whole country, feeling they were sharing the burden that Christchurch, and in particular the Muslim community of Canterbury, were carrying. The purpose of this act was to make a statement of hatred and create a division in humanity. However, it failed in doing so and had completely the opposite effect. People were faced with a choice to either give in and accept the incident and close down around it, or to come together and find strength in a newfound unity. Like London, New York, and countless other cities that had experienced and suffered from such acts of terrorism, the people of New Zealand chose support, they chose love, and they chose communal strength as a path they wanted to take. They put everything aside, their busyness, their financial constraints, their own problems in life, and held out their hand to others and gave whatever they could give. So what was originally planned as an act of callous destruction became a catalyst for love, care, unity, and courage. It proved that in times of adversity you have a choice to either let it control you, or you can turn it around and take control over the situation and come out stronger for it. And this is my message today: choice. Choices dictate our life and present themselves in a continuous stream, but the choices you make will dictate what life you will live. But how do we know we're making the right choices? Your parents, your teachers, your mentors, and your friends all contribute to offer you the building blocks that create your own moral compass. That internal voice you will come to rely on more and more as you gain greater independence. But ultimately, it is you that controls that compass. You choose where you will stand on issues, incidents, and crises, and it is you who will choose which direction you wish to follow. Influence can be strong, but the choice is always yours. I realise I've used a pretty heavy example to illustrate my point, but the shootings in New Zealand affected me greatly. But what affected me even more was the way that a whole country made a conscious choice to drown out the destructive and negative minority that tried to have their say, and they chose a path that led them to something better. So if a whole country can do that, then there is no excuse for us as individuals not to do something just as spectacular. For the past 13 years or so, you, our graduates, have attended school to support your learning. For 11 of you, all of those years have been here at YAS. Schools are traditionally a place of academic learning where you learn skills, knowledge, and academic basics, working your way up to specialisation in your high school years. However, schools are much more than a place to improve your academic knowledge. They are also a place that supports your development as a person. This holistic view of growth and development is evident more and more in schools, and hopefully it's plainly obvious at YS with the mission of Live, Learn, Lead. Now you are graduating from YS and you won't have this community guiding you towards those principles that we have surrounded you with as an institution. But they should be no less important to you. And once you leave, even more importantly, you will be able to expand those principles even further as life experiences and lessons will become your new guide. At the end of the day, though, it comes down to choice, and you will have more freedom to make the choices which will impact your everyday. Some you make could possibly change your entire life. I read, "It is so important to understand that we're all making choices all the time. Even when we chose not to choose, we made a choice. It is our choices that determine our experiences. The choices we are making today will show up in our experiences in the future." Now, there are plenty of people out there telling us how to make good choices, and when I was researching for today, I did come across some checklists. And there's one checklist that I thought resonated with me, and I think all of you here today will be able to understand and relate to. Before going it alone, you may still need a guiding hand as you go out and start making those choices ahead of you that are familiar and potentially far-reaching. So here is the list, and I've taken the liberty of changing it a little because I can. Number 1, if it feels wrong, then it is wrong. Values matter, so know your core values and stick to them, because they will be your strongest and most valuable guide, and should speak to you louder than all the other interference that you will encounter. Number 2, manage the big stuff. Don't get sidetracked on things that don't matter. Time is short. Get the big things right, and everything else will fall in line, and they will end up becoming an enhancement and betterment to your life. Number 3, learn from the past and let it inform your future. You will make mistakes, lots of them. It's inevitable, it's even necessary. If we were too afraid to do things because we were concerned about making mistakes, we would end up not doing anything at all. So go out and do things and make mistakes. I promise you won't be the first. However, learn from them. Make better choices because of them. But be warned, you may still make further mistakes, but hopefully they'll have less and rest assured, you will get it right. Number 4, know what you know, and more importantly, know what you don't know. This one we could unpack for hours because as teenagers you seem to have a blind spot to this sometimes. And there's more examples than we could ever imagine that you've given us. Simply, it's all about self-awareness. So have the humility to know that there's always someone smarter than you. So learn from them, seek out their guidance, and then listen. Number 5, don't procrastinate. This is not just about hesitation or laziness or lack of priorities. Some of the smartest people I know are almost paralyzed by the need to gain perfection, to the point that they do not make a choice or feel they cannot move forward. I would never tell you that second best is the best option, but sometimes life is a little messy, and we need to draw a line in the sand to be happy with what we have achieved and then move on. Accept the fact that it can always be better, always, no matter how great it is. But learn to judge the point in time when it is the right thing to do by moving on. And lastly, number 6, once you make a choice, don't look back and regret it. If you made the best choice that took all the information you had at the time and was true to your moral compass, then it was the right choice. Make it work, develop it, own it, but don't regret it. To sum up, making good choices is a combination of your head, your heart, and your gut. These things will guide your choices, and although the ratio of input from each may differ according to what the situation is, don't let just one of them be your deciding factor. A wise man once said, "It is not our abilities to show us who we truly are, it is our choices." Now, the fact that this wise man wore a pointy hat and was the headmaster of Hogwarts does not lessen the truth in these words. Choices are about you, who you really are. They will define you. Class of 2019, you have made an incredible impact on our community in the time you have been part of it. I thank you for this, and I've thoroughly enjoyed witnessing your development and some of the choices you have made. Most of them. However, the thing that I am most excited about now is the impact that you will make in the future and the choices that lay ahead of you and which ones you will choose. To all of you, go out there. Make sure your choices count. Thank you. Okay, now comes the time that we've all been waiting for. Presentation of diplomas for our graduates. Your speeches were good, sorry. Each graduate will be called to the stage to accept their high school diploma, which they have earned through their academic studies. Students will also be presented with their Global Citizen Certificate, which they have also earned during their time in high school. This is the first time in the history of the GCD that all students who have been at UIS for their high school career will be receiving their GCD certificate. There are also a number of students who have gone on and completed additional elements and will receive the Global Citizen Diploma or Diploma with Distinction. We have asked our grade 12 tutors to assist with calling the students to the stage. The chair of our board of directors, Mr. Lester Yoshinami Hitachi, will assist me in presenting the diplomas. And joining us on the stage will also be Mrs. Deborah Bajaj, the chair of the PTSA, who will be handing out the senior kit, kindly donated by the PTSA, and the high school principal, Mark Redlick, who will be presenting the students with their GCD. Can I ask Lester, Mark, Deb to join me on the stage, along with Mr. Michael Bates, to introduce the first graduating class. Thank you.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the high school graduates from 12B. Oyama. Emma Dietrich. Eduardo Espinoza. Eric Hamburger. Pia Hamburger. Noah Hatakeyama. Noah has also earned a GCE diploma with distinction. Maho Nambu. Maria Jose Roman. Ashling Sasaki. Henry Tomo Spencer. Audrey Sweeney.
Chida Varma. If Chida has also earned a GCD diploma with distinction. I would now like to introduce Mr. Stephen Hooker of 12H, who will present the graduates from his tutor group.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce the high school graduates from 12H. Eileen Chen. Eileen has also earned a GCD diploma. Garrel Davis. Junrui Fu. Kent Ichikawa. Saya Kawabe. Saya has also earned a GCD diploma. Kana Kawanishi. Leia Kawashima. Leia has also earned a GCD diploma with distinction.
Stop that.
Kaori Kondo. Vanessa Creek. Minhu Lee. Maxence Victor Lisenbold. Maxence has also earned a GCD diploma with distinction. Murray McKinnon. Noel Mural Rolos. Jorgis Nordqvist. Now I will call upon Ms. Lappbeck, who will present the graduates from 12A.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce the high school graduates from 12L. Claire Baxter. Michelle Chang. Lisa Ito. Lachlan Jack. K.U. Ko. Nao Matsumoto.
Mikumi Nishi. Ryoko Oda.
Oh, look, he's famous. He's famous.
Sho Oji. Momo Oshima. Megumi Otani. Megumi has also earned a GCD diploma. Yuka Saito. Kosei Yashiro. I would like now to introduce Ms. Sori Maeda, tutor of 12M, who will present the graduates from her tutor.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce the high school graduates from 12M. Kento Beppu. Dan Bluestein.
Let's go! Blue Stein.
Meng Cheng Grace Chung. Grace has also earned a GCD diploma. Mayuho Iwase. Nora Johansson. Nora has also earned a GCD diploma. Shunichi Kaneda. Krista Nishizawa. Helena O. Momoka Emma Saito. Sean Satterwhite. Jinho Shin. And Satono Toyaba. Now I would like to call Miss Tina Post, tutor of 12P, who will present the graduates from our tutor group. Thank you.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the high school graduates from 12P. Sarah Brower. Sarah has also earned a GCD diploma. Simon Choi. Unfortunately, Simon is unable to join us today for this celebration, but we hope he is watching us on the live feed. Iwasawa. Aitor Gutierrez. Ayaka Kanzaki. Heywan Lee. Yuka Emily Saito. Leonie Schumacher. Satoki Takamatsu. Anda Wiemenmeyer. Toshiyuki Yano. Ayano Yoshida. Yoqian Yuan.
to say on behalf of YS and everyone here, one more time, congratulations on your graduation. We wish you well for the next chapter, whatever that may be, and you will certainly be missed here at school. I would like to take this opportunity to thank faculty, staff, and parents who are sitting behind and beside the graduating class for all your love and over the years in their journey to where they are now. I'd also like to mention and thank everyone involved in making today such a wonderful experience, including the speakers, the musicians, performers, logistics, tech team, ushers, and the grade 12 parents who helped in organizing these celebrations. Immediately after this ceremony, and hugs and good wishes that happen here, the grade 12 parents would like to invite the graduates, their family, and invited guests and faculty to a reception in the auditorium. There will be signs outside of the gym and through campus to guide you. Over at the auditorium, there'll be an opportunity to have professional photos and family portraits on the ground floor. Without further ado then, it gives me great pleasure to ask the class of 2019 to come up to the stage for your closing performance of It's Time by Imagine Dragons.
I get it. Yeah, we got it. We should do it again. The revamped version. They have chords. Like, I can't get it.
2019.